Hi, I'm Brandon. I love classic Hallmark Christmas movies.
I'm Ryan, and I like classic Hallmark Christmas movies.
I'm Dan, and I despise classic Hallmark Christmas movies. And this is the Deck the Hallmark podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast. Brandon and friends host this podcast. We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Well, this is fun.
Oh, boy.
Hi.
I got to tell
What
you.
are you still doing here, Buckaroo?
Ryan, no, we said last episode, if Ryan is in the studio next week, that will mean that he has enjoyed Greenville so much that he's decided to move here.
Yep.
So what announcements do you need to make at this juncture?
Well, I'm actually trying out for the Greenville Triumph.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
The soccer team.
Yeah, so that's why, and we'll see what happens here throughout the rest of the episode.
You even got Triumph colors on.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm trying to.
You have to.
I'm trying to impress the higher brass.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
right. At that
So,
minor
well,
league soccer
We'll
facility.
see what happens there for the next 40 minutes or so. You know?
Man,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Well, it's great to have you back.
This is still a probation since you're not moving to Greenville?
Well, I already tried out, right?
Okay,
So
okay.
I might find out whether I made the team before the end of the episode. And then,
So what's weird is last week I didn't know anything about you in soccer.
Yeah.
But now
I didn't know you were a soccer player.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was at the park with my new dog, right? And
Right.
we were doing the old fetch, and then
With a
whole
soccer
thing.
ball?
yeah.
Okay.
He started juggling.
Pretty big dog, you
Yeah,
know?
pretty big dog.
And then the right people were there at the right time, and now here we are.
So
Yeah.
based
Mr.
upon
and
you-
Mrs. Triumph were
Mr.
there.
and Mrs.
Yeah.
Triumph the insult comic dog was there playing with your dog, and he was like, "You've got to come play for my."
Do the impression. Come on.
Oh, for me to poop on. Man, that hasn't been relevant in years.
No, but it's great. It's
Man.
great.
So we'll keep everyone abreast here throughout the
Please
duration
keep
of the
everyone
episode.
abreast.
I would
Do
love that.
for sure.
I would love that.
I gotta be honest.
Can I ask
also,
you this?
Go
You
ahead.
go.
Well, I was gonna say, I know we've done a week's worth of episodes this
Yes.
week, but I'll be danged if it feels like Bramblefest didn't just end.
Oh,
I know.
It feels
Still
like
the
we're
same
just
way?
still recovering.
It's
from it.
insane.
Literally in some cases.
Do you? I know we already asked you last
Sure.
week, what your favorite part was, but have you changed your answer?
Didn't you say somebody fell, or was that somebody else?
It's hard to say, but someone did fall.
A lot of
A lot of people
did
fell
fall.
actually on
Yeah,
karaoke, which, by the way, a thing we didn't talk about. We do need stairs for the
Okay,
stage
okay.
next time.
Well,
It was
18-inch stage, too big for some people. Got it.
it was
Got it.
it was an actual problem.
In,
for karaoke.
retrospect, I feel like we were a little too broad strokes in general last week when I was here talking about Bramble.
It did feel like
It
that.
did feel
Yeah.
that way. It did
Yeah.
feel that way.
Any
It did feel that way.
specifics?
Yeah, I loved everybody the Avengers assembling for DTH on Saturday night.
was
And
great.
That was fun.
But I mean, live Christmas morning was great. There was a bunch of kazoos.
So many
Yeah.
kazoos.
Yeah.
So many kazoos.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. How are you all feeling about this being the last week of Christmas in July? Are you
Great.
sad?
Dan's probably happier than I am. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Can
this
I
is absurd.
Can I
Like,
tell you this is a big announcement now that you're here?
Christmas in August?
No.
Oh.
Got a little something else coming your way
Every Friday from henceforth
until Christmas starts.
until Christmas starts, it's going to be called Fast Fridays.
Yeah, it is.
And we're going to be covering the Fast and the Furious movies.
Are we serious here?
We're doing it.
Yeah, we're doing it
On the feed?
on the feed.
Oh, my.
Call it Fast
Yeah.
Friday.
This is news to y'all and to me out there on Fast Fridays, eh?
well,
Yeah.
it's too good not to do that, right?
Yeah.
Fast Fridays.
I like it as a separate podcast, but we need something for the Friday feed, and we can't add a podcast.
I mean, if I got like a nice 15 to 20 people to say they like D3, we're gonna get people listening to this.
Yeah,
now.
we
Like
are.
if I could sell
Yeah.
people on D3, we've sold people on Fast Fridays.
Fast Fridays. It's going to
Yeah.
be great.
Oh man,
Yeah, right. It's exciting news.
they kept this under the old hats.
They certainly did. We didn't decide till this morning.
Yeah, it was actually. It could change by next week. Who knows,
Yeah.
really? But if I really like the idea of Fast Fridays. It's a fun name.
I thought we just weren't eating on Fridays for a second.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Well, we are going to record
It's
those
that
episodes after a 24-hour fast.
It's gonna be fun.
It's going to be really cool. It's going to be a lot of fun. Before we dive in, I got to be honest. I don't know how it's possible, but the Balsam Hill decorations keep looking better.
Look better.
They look better today than they did yesterday.
It's unbelievable.
It's amazing, and they just you just look at them and you're like, well, that's nice.
We had him on the set
Yeah.
for Bramblefest, and my kid came to see the set, and he goes nuts for Christmas, and he did appropriately go nuts. And he was like, I told him no one sold Christmas trees real Christmas trees this time of year. And he was like, he thought it was a real tree. He was
Wow.
like, you see, Dad, like, why aren't you, you're lying.
You're a
I'm like,
liar.
listen, no, it's a fake tree.
That's the
He
power of
couldn't
the
believe
balsam
it.
hill.
It looks that good.
That's the highest praise you can get.
That's right.
Genuinely.
Yes.
Like legitimately.
It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
And 5% off for a few more days. at
Only
least.
listen, if you've been hearing us talk about it all month and you're like, what do I do? What do I do? Now you know what you do because this sale's not going to last much longer. So go to balsamhill.com. Already up to 50% off, and then a promo code podcast, all caps.
It's not a podcast, just podcast.
Just podcast. It's not like podcast. It's just podcast. That's exactly right. One Christmas Eve, November 30th, 2014 is when it aired. Can you believe that? Way back then? Way back in 2014?
What were you doing in 2014?
I was
teaching with me.
teaching. I was.
No.
I was just, loving life, living the dream.
Yeah.
That's right.
Man, it feels so long ago. Almost 10 years ago.
9.
That's right.
To be exact.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's almost 10.
That's almost 10. All of us are right about
Loaded
this.
this morning in the studio.
One Christmas Eve, November 30th, 2014, and it went a little something like this. It's Christmas Eve, and a couple of janitors are walking around a building that they're cleaning, and they see a Christmas box sitting outside in the snow. So they go to see what's inside of that box, and it is an A, dog, B, candy cane, C, a leopard, or D, the candy.
No, I've been fooled before, but I honestly think it's the candy.
Okay.
Yep.
Ryan, what do you think?
I was also going to go candy.
Candy.
Yeah, that's a good choice. That's a good choice. We're not going to be wrong here.
Thank you, dude.
Oh, it's a dog.
That's unbelievable.
Next time, the
Line
guys
second, no
decide to flip a coin to see who's going to have to deal with the dog. It's Christmas Eve. There's no shelters. What do we do about this dog? So they flip a coin, and now it's Caesar's problem. And cut to a mom. Her name is Nell, who has a couple of kids. She's hanging stockings on the fireplace. Her kids, Alden and Emma, are there, and they're, being kids, like kind of being a little grumpy with each other, sibling stuff and whatnot. Their dad is nowhere to be found because he's on a cruise. When I was in cruise, what's that song?
Baby, I was strong.
We did different parts.
Yeah.
Baby, you're a song.
You make me want to roll my windows down
and cruise. Nailed it.
Was that at Florida, Georgia Line?
Florida Georgia Line.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
FGL, as the kids
The
say.
FGL.
FGL, as the kids say.
That's
Yeah.
what
The
they
two kids
say.
in this film were.
Yes.
That's exactly right.
2014 was probably their era.
FGL? This is the first Christmas that they're not spending all together as a family since the big D happened.
Divorce.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Caesar's driving around, sees Nell outside throwing some snowballs, and he's like, well, she can throw good, so this seems like the perfect house to leave this dog on the
Can
doorstep.
she throw well?
Okay. This is the perfect home for this dog. She even decorates for Christmas. So he takes the dog in the box, puts it on the doorstep, and gets the heck out of there, rings the bell, runs away, but slips on a sled, falls backwards while he's trying to make his getaway. Nell opens up the door and is like, oh, what's wrong with you? Because she sees him, rolling around in agony. She goes to run. She trips over the box with the dog in it. Then the kids come out. They see the dog, and they're like, the dog must be from Dad. Nell goes to check on Caesar, and he's really hurting. So she picks up the family, dog and all, and they go to the hospital. She parks at the emergency vehicle only spot and tells the kids to stay in the car. That's a bad idea. The dog pees
Good
in
New
the car.
England, though.
Yeah, I don't know what
Stay in
happened
the
there.
car.
Stay in the car.
I'm going to miss that.
I know. But you can always go visit.
Ride with
So
Brian.
the dog pees in the car. So Alden takes the dog out of the car, and it's running around, and then it runs into a building. So he runs after it in this construction site, and he ends up falling in a hole with the dog. Wow, what a hole!
Wow.
Emma finds him and calls 911. While that happens, a security guard calls a tow truck to pick up the van. After some breaks and sprains and whatnot, the family plus Caesar go to leave, but the van has been towed. Reggie, the security guard who had the car towed in the first place, feels bad about towing the van, offers to give them a ride in his car.
Is it a brand new Chevy with a lift kit?
Well, maybe. Yeah. Florida Georgia Line. Yep. Florida Georgia Line. FGL. So they're all having a good time. They're singing Christmas songs. They're laughing and whatnot until his car breaks down. Nell calls 911 again, and they're going to be sending a tow truck and a patrol car. A car rolls up, and they're like, it must be the police. So Reggie gets out and is like, hey, you guys. And those guys are like, hey, it's a stick up. They steal all the wallets, the phones, everything that they can find. Tow truck then comes and goes to tow Reggie's car. Somehow Reggie's car breaks away from said tow and falls into the ice, goes underwater. So this is bad news. The cops then take them all to the station and they let them know that they found their stuff, so that's wonderful news, and and B, they can stay in the station.
A, two, and D.
And D. Man, lots of Home Alone references today.
Home Alone happening here.
So they get to stay in the station. While they're all sleeping, the puppy sneaks off and knocks over the Christmas tree, which starts a fire. They all run out of the station. The puppy then runs into the road. Nell runs to save the puppy from a fire truck that's about to strike the puppy. She does this, and then she collapses. So back to the hospital they go. Everything's okay. It is what it is. And they all get released and they head back to their places. And Caesar is stoked to see his daughter has made it for Christmas. They all decide that they're going to spend Christmas together and have a wonderful Christmas dinner. Even the hunky doctor is there. And we're all better for that. They get a knock at the door and it is a package from Dad. It is a dog. The puppies play together. And we all laugh and laugh. And that, my friends, was One Christmas Eve.
We did it.
Eve. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back and we're going to break this movie down with 4 segments here on Deck the Hallmark. Boy, oh boy, that was tough. Welcome back to Deck the Hallmark. We're talking about One Christmas Eve, the 2014.
You're watching on Philo. Ryan gave a wave to everybody to make sure exactly you knew he was here.
That's exactly right.
Welcome back.
We're 15 minutes in. Ryan's going to give you a little, well, how do you do right there? How you do?
Promo code Haya if you just want me to know that you're here.
How you doing?
How you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Just nice to hear from you.
Speaking of Philo, don't forget the Philo Deep Dive every Tuesday.
Oh,
Dan and I are having an absolute blast.
It's fun.
And I got to be honest, it's becoming the highlight of my week. Wow. Just going in and diving into Philo and talking about different TV shows we're stumbling upon. It's an absolute marvel. Philo.tv/DTH. Why not?
Why not?
Why the heck not?
Why not? That's our new slogan.
Not?
Why not?
Hey, why not?
Why not take a crazy chance?
Thank you, Hillary.
Yeah.
Let's start with the hot take. We're talking about One Christmas Eve, the Hallmark Hall of Fame joint from 2014.
The Hall of Fame joint?
It's a Hall of Fame joint.
The
Ryan,
first one to air on the Hallmark Channel.
That's exactly right.
So they used to air on
previously,
CBS.
yeah.
This was the first one?
This is the first one to air on the Hallmark Channel, yes.
So a very long history of Hall of Fame movies that have aired on network TV. This is the first one.
This is the first one that they moved over.
Moved over to the Hallmark Channel. Ryan.
Just first, real quick update. I have made the Greenville Triumph. I have made.
You made the team. So you are sticking around.
I have made the team.
Wow.
I'm on the Greenville Triumph. So just
that's unbelievable.
Yeah, and
they just texted you. Man, how bad are the Greenville Triumph?
I listen. I'll let you know in a couple weeks.
Maybe they shouldn't let a dog puppet with a cigar hanging out of his mouth choose a football team.
This guy can kick the ball. So we mentioned Home Alone a bunch in the hot take, right? More on the Triumph in a minute. But
thank goodness.
Thank you. I thought that they played the Home Alone theme song for a quick second at the beginning of this film.
It did seem very similar.
And that was great. And then there was a dog, and I just adopted a dog, so that was great.
Yeah.
And then proceeded to be the strangest film I've ever seen in the history of the Hallmark Channel. This was called a Hallmark Hall of Fame joint.
Yeah.
It felt decidedly un-Hallmark. Then for about 15 minutes, I thought it was like a Disney Channel original movie that like got scrapped and they moved over to Hallmark. And then about 25 minutes in, I just let go and let God.
Yeah, you did.
It was,
yeah, you did. Amen.
Bran, I don't even think that like there was no way to cover the sheer depth.
Yeah.
Which is a word that I will use intentionally, although it is not a necessarily the most accurate word to describe this film.
Yep.
There was a gun. There was a I don't.
what? Please finish that
there
F
was a
word.
fire.
Okay, a fire.
Yeah. There was a
Like,
fire.
where are you going?
The dog enters the set from Saw at one point. And then everyone said it was the best Christmas they had by the end of things. I watched this at 1 a.m, so maybe it was totally coherent and maybe I was the problem. But this was the strangest ride I've ever had, and I think I loved it.
It's a great take. It's a great take, Rye.
Yeah, it's wacky. It's bananas. It's awesome. I love this movie. I don't know how I've gone all this time.
I had seen this movie and you had not.
I know, because you watched it for the Hallmark Movies draft.
Movie draft. That's right.
Which this movie did make that. The top,
It
what
did.
is it?
It was in the top 10 of
Top 10
all-time Christmas
all
Hallmark movies.
time.
Yep.
I don't know how I had gone. But really, Hallmark doesn't play older movies anymore, especially like Hall of Fame movies for some reason. They just kind of like leave them out. I
think it's a money thing.
I think it is. Like these Hall of Fame movies, Ryan, if you don't know, they're bigger budgets. They do things that they don't typically do in Hallmark. It's just a totally different feel. And you feel that in this movie. It's a ton of fun, lots of laughs, and honestly, just a real good Christmas movie. It's not just a Hallmark Christmas movie. It's a really good Christmas movie. I really loved it. Had an absolute blast. I can't wait to watch it again. Dano?
This is one of the best Hallmark Christmas movies of all time. And it's not particularly close. This is an actual TV movie. This should have been on broadcast television. It's streets ahead for Hallmark. This movie was made 9 years ago. Diverse cast, good use of technology throughout the film, funny, like changes scenes and just continues to pile on hat on a hat on a hat as things get continually out of control. Fun cast. Everybody gets to like score laughs in this movie. No romance to speak of. Not a Hallmark movie. Not one. But if it counts as a Hallmark movie, it's one of the best they've ever made. So I've seen it twice now, and it holds up. It holds up as a movie that if you're watching a Christmas movie with your family and you need something that's only 85 minutes long, you could do a lot worse than One Christmas Eve. One of the best Hallmark Christmas movies of all time, no question about it.
Wow. It's time for all the feels. Ryan.
I got my coveted sleeping in a unique setting on Christmas Eve scene, which was great. And then
You really like her after those? You're like...
Oh yeah, listen, that's on the old checklist, you know.
Really?
Yeah,
Can I ask you this? Do you sleep somewhere special on Christmas Eve?
I'd love to. Like, I mean, like, you know, it's like if you know,
Well, like some people like bring their mattress and lay it in the living room and like watch Christmas movies all night or something like that. Like I hear those type of things.
Yeah, I try to go to my folks' place, you know.
Your folks?
And sleep in the childhood room if when possible.
How far from you are your parents?
When I used to live in Connecticut, because I just moved to Greenville.
Of course.
Yeah, but
in Connecticut.
roughly 10 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So even though you're 10 minutes away, you're sleeping in the bed?
Oh, yeah, we're doing the whole deal.
Wow.
Yeah.
How much of your childhood bedroom is still there? Because I've seen your
Brandt's on my Christmas display.
decorations. And it seems like it's a lot of your childhood in it. So how much of it is left?
None.
Okay.
I maybe bring.
So you'd honestly be better off sleeping at your current place.
How old are you, Ryan?
I'm 33 years old.
33 years old. No, I'm not here to judge anybody. I'm just saying there comes a point where the time versus getting to sleep in my own bed becomes a real factor here. Like, I would much rather 10 minutes away. Like, I'd rather sleep in my bed and get up and make sure I'm there before anybody wakes up.
Sure.
Than just stay the night there.
The last year we did it, which was 2 years ago, it was a sleeping bag on a linoleum floor, and I think that's when I said, you know what, maybe we retire this, you know?
Yeah.
Although, what a unique setting to sleep
That's
on
a
Christmas
unique
Eve.
setting.
Yeah.
Unique setting.
So that was great, and then in this film, they literally burned that setting down, which I thought was fantastic. And that was my all the feels brand.
I love that. That's great. Just a lot. Like the overall just vibe of this movie.
There's a ton of Christmas in it for a movie that's a madcap comedy.
A ton of it. And I love the Christmas hijinks, and I just think it's a hoot. But like, just like the snowstorm was wonderful. Even like little things that you don't see in Hallmark Christmas movies, such as there is a bit in this movie where the mom is bringing the family and Caesar to the hospital for the first time, and mom is driving very slow. And we see two separate establishing shots of the van on the road driving slow. It's just not something they do. No. They would have done it from inside the car. Right. We would have had to take their word for it. Right. So like just those things that really add to this movie. But boy, is the Christmas wonderful in this. But like the dog, to your point, like the dog going up to the Christmas tree, and you're like you get a great like pan above the Christmas tree, and you're like, man, what a Christmas tree!
Christmas song is playing.
And the Christmas song is Frank Sinatra's playing, and then the dog gets the tree down and burns. Oh, it's just so fun.
Yeah.
The Christmas, I love Christmas hijinks. Yeah, I think that's part of the reason why like Home Alone is so beloved. Like, just the hijinks. Yeah. We love hijinks.
Love the Christmas hijinks.
And this movie worked in the hijinks category. Dano?
I love when they're all singing in the car together.
Yeah.
When they're all singing and it's like terrible singing, and then the car just stops working. That scene I thought was great. Like, and people are off pitch. It's fantastic. Really worked for me.
That's what you want. That's what
the
holidays are all about. Yeah. That's what it's all about. Let's take one more quick break. We'll come back with the Wait What and the What the Hallmark here on
Deck the
Hallmark. See you on the other side. Oh, hiya. We're back.
Hey, everybody. Good to see you.
Hello.
I see you out there. Oh, look who made it. Oh, my goodness.
Janice in Tennessee that's watching on the Philo.
So great.
Philo.
We love Janice.
Big crowd.
Wave if you're listening.
Let's get to the Wait What, just where we talk about what has made us go Wait What. I don't know how many there will be, but let's find out, Ryan.
I had to pare down.
Okay.
I pared down.
Oh, you have a lot.
I pared down. At one point, the daughter, she's an aspiring opera singer, and she gets a ticket to the Berlin Opera Company, right?
That's right.
And she says, quote, "The Berlin Opera Company, all the way from Berlin." And that made me laugh.
Yeah, that's true.
The film is called One Christmas Eve, and yet they go out of their way very early into the film to tell you that it's actually now Christmas morning.
Yeah.
That the clock has turned over. And they could have played with time, and I feel like they could have changed that a little bit to extend it. I mean, I guess some people don't consider Christmas Eve to be over until the sun goes up. It's a preference. It's a preference.
Yeah. The sun goes up.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm just, there's so much wrong with that one. I don't know if I can buy it.
Till the sun goes up. The sun doesn't.
No. I'm just saying, like, in general, a movie can be called Christmas Eve and still end on Christmas Day. Like, there's nothing wrong with that.
It turned Christmas Day very early on.
But it's still night.
Yeah.
No, it was like,
that'd be one Christmas.
But yeah, if it's midnight if it's 1 a.m. on Christmas morning, it's actually still Christmas Eve for most everyone, I would say. Until you wake up on Christmas morning.
Yeah, and then when you wake up, it's Christmas
morning.
Still
Christmas Eve.
That's not really how time works, guys.
On any other day, maybe.
Time is a social construct, Ryan.
That I agree with.
It could be called Blelch o'clock right now.
I will say, if all of us just
Georgia Line song.
If all of us just committed to one time zone, though, I do think we would be able to have this conversation
and be a little bit more open and frank.
So let's just do that.
But now we're all on the same time zone because I live here.
Yeah.
That's true.
On the same time zone
we weren't before. That's right.
They are all astonished that the kid memorized the license plate.
It is mind-blowing to them.
Security guard even says, quote, "I couldn't even do that."
It's 4 numbers and 3 letters.
Which is worrisome because he's a security guard. Yeah. I do feel like that should be a part of your job.
Kudos to that kid in that moment for doing it. But acting like he's like some sort of rocket scientist who has a memory.
Got a real Einstein in here.
It's just absurd. It's just crazy.
Make, model, and license plate number. And yeah, he's Alvin Einstein, to Brand's point.
Alvin?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Alvin! Great Christmas special. They put the dog near another Christmas tree after he literally knocked a Christmas tree over to burn down an entire police building. And then, Brandon, you mentioned early on that there was not a service available on Christmas Eve. I don't remember what it was. Sorry, I forgot. But in this universe, they deliver packages on Christmas night.
That's right.
At the end of the film, there's like, "Oh, delivery! Yeah. It's Christmas night."
Yep.
The only thing I could figure there is that it's a special delivery.
Somebody
because
paid
it's a live
rescue,
animal,
like a shelter to go and take.
So that's the only thing I can figure there. Like you don't send a dog. That's a special.
It's a special delivery.
Special delivery.
Special delivery.
That's
Yes.
Mr. McFeely. He's coming in with the dog.
And those are my wait whats.
I only have a couple. One, they are getting questioned by the police. They get all the snacks. They're having a wonderful time. And the police officer says, good news, we've got a spare room on the 4th floor. This is a jail. He makes it sound like it's a hotel. Good news, a room just became vacant. It's on the 4th floor. You're gonna take the elevator right around the lobby, and you're gonna go right up to the 4th floor. That line made me chuckle a little bit. And also, apparently, all my wait whats take place in the jail because the guy is like, don't worry, I got you guys. I'll get you all the snacks you want to,
right.
which is wonderful. Oh, I don't listen. I don't know if you open it up. We're not privy to how he got all the snacks, but there's a lot of snacks. Does this family do any cleanup? No, not even a little bit. They say, thank you for your hospitality,
There's
and if you could
trash
keep
everywhere.
that coming, that'd
See
be
ya.
great. Pick it up. Where's the trash can? Who can tell? It's Christmas. You don't clean up on Christmas. That's all I got. Dano?
Yeah, I know that my kids are 7 and a little bit younger, but I think this movie takes place outside of Portland or in Portland, Oregon. Did they establish where? The interstate that they talk about goes through the PNW. Okay. Originally, I thought it was New York. I don't know where it takes place, but it's in a major metropolitan city. Leaving my kids a little bit older outside in the snow in a car for half an hour, I just don't see it. I don't see, like, I know you got a dog with you. You got to take everybody in. You got to take everybody in and be like, look, I get it. She'll hold the dog at the door. My kids cannot possibly be out there for 30 or 40 minutes. That was a stretch. But this hospital is crazy. They don't allow cell phones in the waiting room. What is that?
Is that a 2014 thing?
It might be a 2014.
That's
thing.
absurd. I don't care what year it is. That's absurd. But the best
this Luke's
is
Diner?
that when they get, what did you say?
It's a Gilmore Girls reference. You don't
Fantastic. Good.
care.
It's a Connecticut thing. I'll miss you
When
guys.
they get Alden and his sister in from when they fell, they get them in and they put them in hospital rooms. The sister, who is, from what I understand, just cold, she gets her own hospital room. Whereas Carlos Gomez and Alden share the stock room. They are in 2 beds in the stock room of this hospital.
legitimate injuries, by the way.
Legitimate broken limbs on their body.
His ankle looks mutated.
And, they are not in a hospital room. There are 2 beds with IVs that have been moved into the stock room. This girl gets cold and she gets a full, like, sunny, I don't know, hospital room. These 2 guys have broken bones. Stock room for you. To the mines. Nothing we could do about it. This doctor spends more time with this family than any doctor has ever spent with a family he doesn't know in the emergency room in his life.
Yeah.
Like, he's long talks, nowhere to go, all day to get there, just like
giving out Berlin Opera tickets.
Yeah, I mean, just
What
doing
a guy.
all the way from Berlin?
Oh, Beth Anna's saying that hospitals did used to do this because cell phones might interfere with the equipment. Such it's like what we all take the airplanes.
I guess it was
Fascinating.
the early days of smartphones.
Yeah.
So they
Fascinating.
yeah.
Didn't know that. The fact that there's only one tow truck company open was shocking to me. It seems as though in a big city, like, this is not a small town, that there would be just, that's when tow trucks work, during snowstorms at night. Like, I get it's Christmas Eve, but the fact that they're like, well, it's on the other side of town, there's nothing we can do about it. I mean, convenient for the plot, but didn't work for me. That's all I got.
It's time for What the Hallmark is, where we wonder what could have been. Maybe haven't given some clarity to questions we still have. Ryan, what are you still wondering about, buddy?
Brent. Dan, that was a great unintentional segue for me because this tow truck guy is my favorite character in the history of Hallmark.
Yeah, he's doing something here.
What is the world coming to?
Yeah.
I can't.
He's definitely from Russia.
Yeah, I want a whole series of films on this fellow, and that's all I'm left wondering about.
The thing about it that was so great is at some point along the way, during the filming, someone was like, what if you made this guy Russian? You know, like, he clearly isn't Russian. And he thought if he threw a few, like, Russian accent things in there, we'd buy it. Maybe. I'm not here to judge.
Didn't deter my enjoyment of the character.
No, God,
This is a very cute puppy.
Yeah, that's right. This puppy. That's right.
So Alden falls in a hole. We love it when people fall in holes in movies. It's a lot of fun. I'm just wondering about this hole. I know they don't want you to think about the hole, but we're on a construction site and there is a perfectly square 5-foot hole in the middle of this place.
Yep.
Why? What is that hole going to be used for? Is it a storage hole? What?
I think there were some boards on top of it. He fell through when he caught the dog.
Great. But what is it going to, because it's perfectly square. It's like as if it was like cut out with a cookie cutter.
It does look like that either he's in Jigsaw's little playhouse.
I mean, that's the lead.
Maybe this is a ductwork factory.
Maybe.
Where
I don't know.
They make like AC units that deliver
I'm
air.
guessing it's like a hotel expansion would be not hotel, a hospital expansion project would be my guess. But just the fact that that is there, I just want to know what it is. That's all. That's all. I don't know enough about construction. Maybe there's oftentimes perfectly square holes that are 5 feet deep, but I don't know. You're gonna Google that. Are there perfectly Dano?
Also a great segue brand. Mine was when they decided about like this kid in this hole. Was it a situation of how deep or what do we have? Let's use what we have, because the hole that he's in is maybe 5.5 feet tall. Maybe.
Right.
Like
not a huge fall.
With 2 people, he could have easily been lifted out of that hole, and they just act like it's like 10 feet down. Yeah. But it's not. What was the reasoning behind that? Was it because the kid was scared, easier to film, only hole available? I would like to know
only hole
the
available
background.
situation.
Only hole available situation. Yeah.
Hey guys, it's the only hole available.
Film it.
The other ones
put a big
are
lens on it.
The other ones are already occupied by other people. We did it, everybody. Congratulations. The last Hallmark movies now Christmas classic for Christmas in July. It's been a wonderful journey. I will say that much for sure.
Oh, I'll never forget it.
I'll never forget it. That means next Friday kicks off Fast Fridays, everybody.
The only downside of this is we have to watch the first 2 films again.
Yeah.
First 3 really. But
once you get to 4 though, you're
once you get to 4,
you're gonna get those Christmas
life
fuzzies.
is good.
Once you get to 4,
that's right.
By the way, bad news. No update on the hole. And actually, more bad news.
Any more update?
I've been traded to the New York Football Club.
No.
Really? What's their minor league New York Football Club? Give me their mascot right now.
The footballer.
This is
the
horrible
footballers?
news.
Yeah.
The New York Football.
Yeah, the kid club. The
The
Burger King
kid club?
Yeah.
Can't be a kid club.
So guys, sorry guys.
Well,
it was
I hate that.
I'll be back on the old Skype.
You'll be back on
that's tough.
Skype next Friday for Fast
Can you imagine
Friday.
if you were here getting to watch Fast and the Furious together, though, Brian?
Man,
I mean, come on.
It'd be sick.
Wow, what
awesome.
a time. What a time.
We did, everybody. Congratulations. We'll be back next time with another one. Until then, maybe we're the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmark is a Bramble Jam podcast. It's produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.